everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie and welcome to the Olympian Library. So today we're going to be talking about 10 or about maybe 15 books that I'm going to be reading this summer, and they're summer themed, so let's get into it. So it's officially been summer for about a week and a half now, and for those who don't know, The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3 is coming out July 16th, and your girl had to reread the series so that she can get ready for Season 3. So, I had the version, the ebook version on my Kindle, and, I saw these copies. It was finals week, because my university is next to a Barnes & Noble, so I had to just, I treated myself and I got the new holographic books, and they are really pretty. I've already reread the first book, and I'm currently almost done with the second, and I'm trying to read book 3 by next week. And so I'm really excited for Season 3 to come out, and I'm actually reading the third book with my friend, so I'm going to be reading it and annotating, and then she's going to read it and she'll annotate her notes, and I thought that would be really cute. And, so we could each see our little, highlights and notes in the book, and, a little keepsake. So that's one of the first book series that I'm rereading this summer. And it's crazy because when I first read this series, I was about Belly's age, so I was in middle school. I want to say 7th grade. So I was literally 15, how old Belly is in the first book. And so I don't know, it's kind of a full circle moment for me because I'm currently in grad school, and I know I'm a little bit older than she was in book 3, but it's still I'm still college age. So, it's so full circle that they've made a show and I'm rereading it, and now I'm Belly's age in the last book. So, I don't know, life is just funny like that. But definitely as a reread, one thing that stuck out to me was back when I read it as a middle schooler, I definitely was more in Belly's mindset, I guess. I guess it's a maturity thing. So she would, say things about Cam Cameron. I love Cam Cameron, and I just think that he was treated a little bit unfairly, but it's okay. And so, I mean, I like that he was serious about marine biology and everything. So I like that. I feel like they made a little bit of fun of him for being straight edge and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's great. And so that's what I mean. Rereading it now as an adult, I'm more really, Belly? Come on, that's not okay. And are you kind of the problem, as a joke? But so I don't know. I've been enjoying rereading this series, and definitely recommend for those who are interested for a light summer read. I do have to say that rereading it, I noticed that there's a little bit more curse words than I remembered. And, I'm just putting that out there for any parents or, people who might not like reading that. So I definitely do think that the books are a little bit more cleaner than the show for anyone worried about that as well. But overall, I would give this series a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely one of my favorite book series. So, yep. Alrighty. Another book that I already read this summer, but I'm including it in this video because it's summer themed. It's called The Summer Deal, and I actually found this book at the Dollar Tree. So, I was just like, hey, it's a cute cover. Yes, don't judge your books by your cover, but for $1.25, that's not a big deal. So I read it during finals week, and it was a cute story, but I have to say, I did not know that this book is apparently number 4 or number 5 in a book series, but I guess they're all standalone really, and they're all just in the same universe. I just didn't like that there was some scenes that were close to smut, and I skipped a lot of pages. I just wanted to hear about the main storyline because it's 2 girls that are half sisters, and only one of them knows that they're half sisters, and the one that knows is actually having issues with her liver, and so she needs to tell the other girl that they're half sisters so that maybe she can get a liver transplant. So it was a cute story. It had a happy ending, I would say. I just didn't like some scenes and some words. definitely giving it like a 2.53 out of 5 stars. But, you know, for $1.25, like, I'm not going to complain. So, yeah. Maybe the other books in the series are good. I know that this author is well known. I'm not, like, dragging her name through the mud or anything. I'm just saying, like, my personal opinion. So, again, it was a cute summary book. Okay, so for the next few books, these are books I've had on my shelf for a while, and you guys know that on my channel, I'm all about trying to read the books we already own and, you know, not just consuming and buying new books. So the next book I have is Don't Stop Now, and it's kind of similar to Paper Towns. If you guys know Paper Towns by John Green with like the road trip and everything. And so yeah, it's about like a group of kids. They just graduated high school, and then something happens, and they're like on a road trip. And it's a shorter book, so I thought it'd be like a cute summary read. And again, I've had it on my shelf, and I wanted to, you know, read it. So that's one of my goals this summer. One of my goals this summer is to try and get through as many books as I can on my shelf without buying new ones. For the next book, it's actually called One Silver Summer, and it's really cute because it has like a prince and a girl who goes to like a castle. And again, it's on the shorter side, so that's why I was like, okay, this is perfect for summer. And like, it's again very short, and the writing is not like too bad. So it's 263 pages. It's a cute book, summery vibes with like a prince and an English person in Cornwall. So it's basically, it says, after losing her mother in an accident, Sass is sent to the English coast to live with her uncle. Far from Brookland, whatever, now she's in Cornwall, and she stumbles upon a silver horse in a meadow. And so basically, whatever, like her story. And so, and apparently it's like hidden identity because she meets someone and his name is Alex. And apparently he might be like rich or something. I don't know. But there is a castle. I have not read it yet. It looks super cute. I've had this book on my shelf for years, so it's time to read it. And the time is now. So I'm really excited for this book. For the next book, again, going with the theme of like princes, you know, just because I was really interested in that in high school. I thought it was cute. And so it's called Royally Lost, and it's about an American girl who goes to Europe, and she ends up meeting some, not English prince, a prince from a European country, and they get lost together, and she's navigating that. And again, this book is a little bit thicker, I guess. Thicker. I mean, it's 308 pages, but it sounds really cute. It's a summary, fun read. So, yeah, I'm all about that. So I'll be posting videos on all of these books once I read them. So the next two books are by the same author, and this author is besties with Jenny Han. And so the reason I know that is because I know that they've like posted pictures on Insta together. And so her name is Morgan Matson. And this book I've had on my shelf for years, and I've wanted to read it so much, but I haven't been able to. And, you know, now that I'm getting back into reading because it's summer and I'm also in grad school, so I have a little bit more time because I'm working more just on research, I have the chance to actually like sit down and read a little bit more for fun. And so Amy and Roger's Epic Detour is really cool because that was one of the first books I found that has like all these little like playlists and like little receipts, like because you know they're on the road and stuff. It's just really cool to see. That was one of the first books I ever like got that had like little tie-ins and stuff. I don't know, like, I mean, now it's a little bit more popular, but, you know, given that this book was from, like, 2015, I think that's really cool and really neat to see. And so, this is one book that I'll be reviewing. So, let me know if you guys have read any of these books in the comments. Like, I'd love to hear what you guys thought about them. So the next book, like I mentioned, is by Morgan Matson, and it's called Since You've Been Gone. And I bought this at my high school book fair, and I started reading it. And again, it's one of the first like books I've seen that has like playlists, so I really like how Morgan did that, how the author, included these little details. As a reader, I enjoyed reading that. And so this one is a little bit more sad because it's about a girl, and I think her sister passed away, but before she passed away, she left a list of things she wanted her sister to do. So, or like her own things that she wanted to do, but her sister is like, okay, I'm going to complete this for my sister. So that's why it's called Since You've Been Gone. This book is a little bit thicker, so I haven't had the chance to read it all, but, hopefully I will. And again, it's like one of those summery, nostalgic books. It's really giving me like Paper Towns vibes. A lot of these books are. And again, this was in my era of reading John Green and, Jenny Han and all that. So it's been really cool to just like go back and like review things that I really enjoyed back when I was in high school. And, now that I'm older, I have a different lens to it. Again, for my channel, I definitely want to present things from a Christian worldview and perspective. So I'll be including that also. A lot of these books, they are scholastic. So, like, I'm assuming that they're more on the cleaner end. It's not like any smut or anything involved. I don't really like reading smut. So if you like reading that, I'm not judging you. Everyone has their preferences, but that's just my own personal belief. I'm not reading that. So, Since You've Been Gone. Okay, so the next one is actually, it's two books in one, in the sense of like it's one of those collections. So it's a series, and they added both books into just one book, and that's how I found it when I bought it. But I bought this book back in high school because I heard that it was similar to The Summer I Turned Pretty. So basically, after I finished reading The Summer I Turned Pretty and To All the Boys I've Loved Before, I really wanted to read more books that were similar to Jenny Han's style. And one of the first books that I found was Nantucket Blue and Nantucket Red, which are like the two, it's a duology. So I have Nantucket Summer, and I just thought that would be really fun. It's a little bit more, it's not like, because The Summer I Turned Pretty is more about like the love triangle, but for this one, it's more like coming of age, in the sense of it's about the main character, and apparently her family, something happens and they end up losing like all of their money, so then she has to start from scratch and starts working as like a housemaid or a cleaner in Nantucket, but she used to be like rich or whatever, so it's like learning how to deal with that dynamic of people judging her and everything. So I don't know, I'm really excited for this book series. Like, I think that once I finish rereading The Summer I Turned Pretty, like, I think I'm really going to enjoy this book series. So, if you have read Nantucket Blue or Nantucket Red, please let me know in the comments, and how'd you like it? I know a lot of these books are a little bit older. They're not like the most newest released books from Book Talk or anything like that. But again, we're all about not consuming. Well, we are about reading, but just not having to constantly buy new books, And like, check out your local libraries also, because I use Libby and Hoopla, and they're really useful, and they have some of the greatest audiobooks. And I love that I can read with my Kindle from the books on Libby. And maybe just like if you're in a pinch, for money, but you want to enjoy reading, that is possible. So check them out. So Nantucket Red and Blue for Nantucket Summer. Okay, so for my next book, I did buy this a few weeks ago from Walmart. So this is one of my newer books because I thought it was really cool, and because I have a lot of like high school YA books, but I really want to read a few like more college age books as well. I thought this would be great because it's about like kids who just graduated, and it's like a trio of friends, and it's like their summer, so they're dealing with like moving or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they're college aged. Anyway, I thought it looked cute, and it wasn't super expensive, so I decided to get it. But again, I'm not sure. They probably had it at my library, but this was one of the just, once in a while. So I'll try to make a little like short haul video where I'll show you guys some of the books that I bought, because a lot of them I got were on bargain or on sale. Like at Books a Million, I found that they had books for like $3, $5. So check out like your local Books a Million or even Barnes and Noble. They have a lot of sales. So definitely check it out. I'm excited to read this while we're young. And so again, I'm not sure if this is about like high schoolers or college age kids, because they do talk about graduation, but then they say senior skip day, so it might be high schoolers. But anyway, I think I have heard a lot about this author. So she wrote The Summer of Broken Rules, which if I see the cover I probably know, but yeah, I'll make a review of this one. I just thought the cover looked really cool, and I like, the summery vibe, again with a road trip. I don't know why. That seems to be a recurring theme. I think I just enjoy traveling and being on the road with friends. So, yeah. One book that I really want to read this summer is, I was an ARC reader, so I want to read the full published version, is my friend Lizzie Franklin's Before We're More Than Friends, because I'm currently an ARC reader for her second book, which is going to be released, I'm sure, in July, I believe. I already pre-ordered, but you guys have to check her out. Check out her Insta, check out like her books. Lizzie Franklin, the book, like she has, so it's going to be a book series, so there's going to be like 4 of these books, and if you go on her page, you can go more into details about that, but I definitely want to finish reading the whole published version, and I just love her writing. Her writing is so realistic, and it's so like just fun to read. It was one of the first books that I got into, like that helped me get back into reading this past year. I actually read it during I was reading the ARC during finals week, so, or right after finals, I believe, but it's just such a fun read, and it's not just summer themed, but I'm including it in this video because I am reading it this summer, and I'm reading her second book as well, which I don't have the physical copy, but this is how it looks. And so definitely check her out. And she's the same friend I mentioned that I'll be reading the Summer I Turn Pretty, the third one, will always have summer together. And so I'm definitely going to try to make like a podcast with her, or like an interview video with her one day, and maybe this upcoming fall. And I just think it would be cool to have a little interview with an author. She is a published author, and I just think she's so cool. So definitely give her books a try and check them out. Okay, so for the next book, this is an extra, and it's a little unboxing. I know I mentioned, we're all about saving money, and, it's okay to buy books, but I'm just saying that we don't have to get always the newest and greatest book talk books. So this book is by another small author that I saw on Insta, so, I wanted to support, and the marketing said that it's basically The Summer I Turned Pretty, but for like 20-year-olds, so I just was like, okay, well, I have to check that out. So this is the unboxing of it. And so this is what it's called. It's called All at Once by Katherina B. And basically, like, I just think it looks so pretty. Like, don't you think it looks pretty? And it's like, it's basically Summer I Turned Pretty, but for people my age. Anyway, it just sounds so fun. Like, it's all summery, and it's also like international because they're in Spain. I don't know. Like, I'm just super excited to read this. I don't know if this is her debut book, but I'm excited to read it, and I'll make a video about it. And again, like, I definitely do think that, like, supporting indie authors and also have discernment, not just anyone, but I think this book is really like cute because it's more like, learning that like you don't have, just because someone else is doing something doesn't mean you have to be, or like everyone has their own timeline, so I thought this was like a cute read after I finished The Summer I Turned Pretty, and my other books. So I don't have a specific order yet of how I'm going to be reading them, but these were just some books I really want to read this summer. So let me know what you guys think of all the recommendations. And, if you've read any of these books, please let me know. And I shouldn't say recommendations because I haven't read them yet, but these are the books I'm planning on trying to read this summer. And I hope you guys have an amazing summer 2025. Make sure you don't waste it, And at the end of the day, whatever you do, do it for the glory of God. So if you're reading something and you're not really feeling it, there's nothing wrong to, like, do not finish, and put it down. So that's one thing I'm learning, because I'd rather spend my time reading quality work or a quality story than just things that I feel like are wasting my time. And so if you really enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please comment below. And please consider checking out my Instagram, Goodreads, and my blog. Thank you so much for staying until the end of this video, and, keep reading. Thank you.